All right, so move on to the final segment. We're going to pivot over here to the world of college football, and I'll be sharing my biggest storylines heading into the college football season. So I have a few storylines for you guys in this segment today. Starting off with the first storyline, Arch Manning. How will Arch Manning look with the Texas Longhorns this college football season? Now, all eyes are on Arch Manning this college football season as he gets his first start in his junior year with Texas. Sat on the sidelines for his freshman and sophomore seasons. Now gets the first start with Texas. Now gets to play in the SEC and could be the biggest prize of them all, whether he wants to declare for the 2026 NFL Draft or waits another year and declares for the 2027 NFL Draft. So Arch Manning has shown flashes of what he could do with his arm, what he could do with his legs as a dual threat quarterback with Texas. And the small starts and the small tape that we have with him on the field with Texas, at times he's looked better in the offense than what Quinn Ewers did, debatably, when Arch Manning was on the field. So I think Arch Manning is a true Heisman Trophy candidate this year. Across the board, Texas has one of the best rosters in the country this year. And that's the reason why they're ranked number one heading into week one of the college football season. So I want to see what Arch Manning can bring to the table. I want to see if he could be the next big Manning out of the Manning family. We know Peyton Manning, Eli Manning. I want to see if Arch Manning can follow behind their footsteps. And I think Arch Manning is going to have a big college football season this year in college football. Next one is the Big 12 Conference. How strong will the Big 12 Conference be this college football season? Now, there are 3 ranked teams in the Big 12 heading into week 1 of college football. And the Big 12 did lose a lot of talent to the NFL roster in the 2025 NFL Draft. We'll talk about names like Travis Hunter, who just won the Heisman Trophy Award this previous college football season, Shedeur Sanders, Ted McMillan, first-round wide receiver that went to the Carolina Panthers, Cam Skattebo. And there was a total of 31 players drafted in the 2025 NFL Draft that came from the Big 12 Conference. Now, I do believe that this conference will be an exciting conference to pay attention to. It could be unpredictable. I think the door is wide open for anybody to win this conference. And there's great coaches, good teams. There could be a lot of games deciding this Big 12 conference that come down to the final possession, the final few minutes, when there's head-to-head Big 12 competition. So I'm definitely looking forward to how the Big 12 is going to play out in college football this year. But the conference does have some contenders. They have Arizona State, Kansas State, Texas Tech. You could throw Baylor in the conversation as well. Iowa State could make some noise. And I want to see if any teams from the Big 12 make the college football playoffs, which they're probably, there will be a college. I want to see if there is a Big 12 team that makes the college football playoffs, how they play out in the playoffs, because they're 1-7 in college football playoffs. So I think that's a big question mark. How strong and how competitive the Big 12 will be, how the conference will play out, and how they look against opposing conferences, especially in playoff play, because their all-time record is 1-7 in the college football playoffs since the college football playoffs began a decade ago. So I want to see how strong the Big 12 conference looks for this upcoming college football season. Now, next big storyline. How will the Florida Gators look this upcoming college football season? Now, as a Florida Gators fan, I will say it's nice that the Florida Gators find themselves ranked 15th in the country heading into week 1 of college football. And they have their quarterback, DJ Lagway. I think he could bring a lot of success to the Swamp. And I think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback in the country. The energy will be back to the Swamp. The bad news is they had the toughest schedule in the country. College Football Committee, what the hell did we do to you guys? Because this is going to be insane. We had to go on the road against LSU, on the road to play Miami. We play Texas at home with Arch Manning and company coming to the Swamp. Got to play on the road against Texas A&M. Got to play at home against Georgia, on the road against Ole Miss, and at home against Tennessee. Now, I know that's a lot of SEC play, but damn, college football, what did we do to you guys? We're trying to reinvent ourselves. This is the best quarterback that we have had since Tim Tebow was around nearly 20 years ago. So they got several tests. They're going to be jockeying for position in that SEC conference, trying to get a playoff spot. But if the Florida Gators could turn out to be a really good team and survive most of these tests, and DJ Lagway is playing at an elite level, hand him the Heisman Trophy Award immediately. based off the teams that I just said that we have to play this college football season. So it is insane. I can't believe this schedule. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough times. You're going to have the good times and the bad times being a Florida Gators fan this year. But damn, that is, I don't want to hear it at any level. That has to be the hardest schedule in college football this year. But moving on to the next big storyline, can Penn State compete with the best teams in the country? So looking at Penn State here, they do open the season as the second ranked team in the country. And the problem with Penn State is they have yet to prove why anybody should believe that they could beat the best teams in the country. I mean, they got a good overall team this year. I know the program is going to be pretty good, and they have a legit chance of winning the national championship. But until proven that you could beat the top tier teams, why should anybody believe in you? And looking at James Franklin as a head coach at Penn State, he's 17-26 against top 15 schools. Drew Aller, their quarterback, that's going to be coming back this year, trying to prove why he could be one of the top quarterbacks in the 2026 NFL draft class. When you look at his 3 games against the 3 best teams that Penn State played against last year, Ohio State, Oregon in the Big Ten championship, and Notre Dame in the playoffs, he struggled against those 3 teams. Had a touchdown-interception ratio of 3 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I think if you're going to prove to anybody why you should be true contenders, true heavyweights around the country in college football, you got to beat the best of the best. They got some tests on their schedule this year. I know they have to play Ohio State, but it's going to be interesting to see if they could get back to the Big Ten championship. I think they have the ability to do it because I think Oregon takes a step back this year. So it could be Penn State versus Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. I want to see how they compete against the best teams, if they could get back to the Big Ten championship, and overall, how are they going to respond once they get to the playoffs if they make the college football playoffs this year. So big question marks surrounding Penn State this year. I think they got a bright future this upcoming college football season, but you got to prove it to me and the rest of the country watching as Penn State takes the field every weekend. Next storyline. How will Ty Simpson look as the new starting quarterback with Alabama? Now, Ty Simpson was named the starting quarterback for Alabama this college football season as of yesterday. So I think he has potential heading into his junior season. He sat behind Jalen Milroe his first 2 years, his freshman year, his sophomore year. So based off the tape that I've seen of Ty Simpson, he does have a good arm, mobile with his legs. He's pretty accurate in the pocket in the time that he got in garbage time. But the the tape, I should say, looked pretty good at what I see from Ty Simpson. I don't know much about him, but from the garbage time that he got on the field, that he looks like he's got a pretty good arm and can move around mobily. And I will say that I take that back. We did see a glimpse of him too. The final year of Nick Saban, when they were trying to figure out who was going to be the guy at the quarterback position when everything was falling apart, and somehow, they still made the playoffs that year in Nick Saban's final year. So I did see tape of him during that season as well. But in a loaded SEC conference, can Ty Simpson be relied on? Can he be dependent on? I mean, he does have a offensive-minded head coach and Kalen DeBoer to learn from, and he has Ryan Williams, one of the best wide receivers in the country. It's just how is he going to look against these top-tier SEC teams, especially when they have to play Georgia on the road later on in the college football season. So that's something to pay attention to. Next big storyline is, can Ohio State run it back? Now, Ohio State did win it all last year. They had a tremendous run in the playoffs. That's following their loss that they had in their final game against Michigan that they lost at home. We know after the game that Michigan planted their Wolverine flag on the 50-yard line. There was a brawl afterwards. I didn't see Ryan Day really respond the way I thought he would have, getting his players off the field, but they responded in-house because they went on one hell of a run in the college football playoffs. They defeated Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, and Notre Dame to win the national championship. That's a really impressive run that they went on to win it all last year. But they did lose a lot of talent to the NFL draft on both sides of the ball. And they lost both their coordinators. Chip Kelly is now the new offensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders in the NFL. And Jim Knowles actually jumped ship and became the new defensive coordinator at Penn State. And they still have an ongoing quarterback competition going on. It seems like they'll announce a winner very soon, though. But I want to see if Ohio State could go back-to-back. And I want to see if they can get to the Big Ten championship game. I think it could be Ohio State versus Penn State again. But I want to see how far that Ohio State could go this college football season. And in the final storyline is how far can Bill Belichick, or how good will Bill Belichick look with the North Carolina Tar Heels? Now, it is honestly weird that Bill Belichick, the most accomplished head coach in NFL history, this late into his coaching career, is becoming a college football coach, and he's coaching in the ACC conference with North Carolina. Now, he is, in my opinion, the greatest head coach in NFL history. 6 Super Bowl rings, 8 total when you count his Super Bowl rings that he won as a defensive coordinator around the league as well. And he helped create the best dynasty in NFL history with the New England Patriots, Robert Kraft, and Tom Brady, the years that they dominated across the National Football League. But now, in a new world of college football, it's obviously different from the NFL and college football. And how will he have success can he have success with North Carolina? How will they compete in the ACC this season? I mean, the ACC, I think, viewing it, you might as well say they're the 3rd best conference in college football behind the Big Ten and the SEC conference. I mean, they have some really competitive teams in this conference. I mean, there's the Clemson Tigers. They're going to have Cade Klubnik. Dabo Swinney is really looking to have success with an upgraded overall program on both ends of the ball. Georgia Tech, I think that's a sleeper team in this ACC conference. I like the senior class that they have. Miami, I want to see how they look with Carson Beck now that Cam Ward is now in the NFL. Duke and Pitt are some sleepers in the ACC conference. This is a new game, a new ball game for Bill Belichick, and now he's in the college football landscape where NIL deals matter, player recruitment matters, player development means more than anything at this collegiate level. Because if you aren't creating atmosphere where your players want to be there, or you're not helping with their development, they could easily just jump into the transfer portal. And the transfer portal is so huge now. He's not going to have the upper hand. Well, I mean, the New England Patriots never were a team to jump on any free agent. But if you don't jump on the transfer portal or these NIL deals, you're not going to get the best recruits in college football nowadays. So I want to see, can he adapt to that? Can he adapt to the college football world at this point of his coaching career? I think there's a lot to look forward to for the college football season. We're just a few weeks away. I think this is going to be a really good year, but those are my biggest storylines heading into the college football season. That is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off, and I'll see you guys on next week's episode.